The Eternals are now becoming psionic, which makes sense. I assume that they would.
Does that make them psionic zombies?
Ah, that's weird. Well, wait, maybe the zombies aren't psionic, but the living ones are. What would an undead say through psionic telepathy? Would they even say anything? Right? HHH is having stability problems currently.
Still.
They are still having some stability problems, probably because that they are currently on a world that they have almost no habitability for.
That
Why
sounds like
did
poor
they
planning.
land on a planet
Yeah.
with no habitability?
They've also got a pirate fleet they have to deal with, but they should be able to deal with that pretty quick.
They do have a pirate fleet. This is why I don't usually play as meatbag empires. It's because anytime I have a pirate problem, it immediately throws my entire trade situation into turmoil, because then your trade lanes get disrupted and your income, especially if you're reliant on the trade, just goes into the toilet. And then you really have to solve the problem immediately. Yep. Otherwise, you're just going to start hemorrhaging credits.
This is true. Last time I checked, I think it was whilst you were away, Eternal had a relatively small pirate fleet, but because their fleet power was so minimal, they couldn't deal with it. But they've increased their fleet power quite a lot now. They're up to 1.6, and I think they've dealt with the pirate fleet now. So, but that's probably why, because they only had a couple of hundred fleet power when I checked in on them.
I see. They are also currently in their little trade league with the Nagari Confederacy. I wonder if they're going to try to add other nations into that trade league.
Interestingly, the Nagari Confederacy is the empire that separates them from Triple H.
I wonder, no, once they're in a federation, I don't think that they could change them into a vassal. So I guess that that's going to be their pseudo bulwark between them and the HH.
That's what I was thinking.
They have no other claims that I can spot right now. So I don't think that the Eternal team is going to be aggressive in any fashion.
They reformed their government? Who reformed their government? Somebody's saying that in chat. Somebody reformed their government.
Oh, yes, they did. They added a civic to the Eternal Prophet. What did they add? The Mastercraft? Assuming it's the Mastercraft, because that's the third one in their slot.
Yeah,
Mastercraft, artisans are replaced with artificers. Artificers produce 1 consumer good, as well as 2 trade goods, and 1 engineer. That's pretty good. Every 3 industrial districts grant 1 building slot, except on habitats. Makes sense.
That's pretty good.
Like I said, I usually play as hive minds, so I don't ever have to deal with consumer goods. It's so nice not having to give your population cell phones. I mean, it's just a lot simpler, especially when you're dealing with like 50 or 100 planets that you're trying to deal with. Now, I don't think you can do that anymore. I usually do the hive mind, and then I go for the genetic ascension. That way, anytime I integrate another society, I could just integrate them into the hive mind. Hive minds don't get synthetics. That is true. They can.
I wonder if that'll still be the case. How do you think hive mind will interact with the Overlord system?
You know, from how I usually play it, it will probably have to change how they. I don't know how well they'll do. You might have to play as an empath. Because the fact that you have to, in order to utilize Overlord to the best of its ability, you need to be able to communicate via diplomacy now. You have to be able to be diplomatic with your neighbors. Who's at war?
Transport Guild. You know, we said if they wanted to go for that mega structure, they'd have to declare on the Numerian principality. Well, they have.
Yes, and they have indeed. Now that they have a border with them through their protectorate.
Oh no, they've also slingshotted.
Wait, they're already in their systems.
Yeah.
They jumped straight into one of their planets.
Have you also seen?
That is incredibly powerful.
They've
Being
got
able to
Dossel
slingshot yourself. Pseudo jump drives.
That's impressive.
Now, my question is, once you have Slingshot your way into enemy territory, how do you get back?
You just hope and pray that you do well, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that they cannot receive reinforcements, although they did just take.
They
They
took
did just
Jasmine.
take a starbase. Now, this
Yep.
starbase, however, currently does not have any shipyards, but they can repair at it.
So I guess they've very tactfully picked an area which they can use as a staging ground and then move from there.
Yeah, that was actually a very sound strategic decision. Taking that system
Definitely.
because it was not a heavily defended system, but it was an upgraded one that they can utilize
Oh.
to repair their fleet at.
Freak did just mention they could receive reinforcements through the
That's
catapult again.
They can? Oh. Oh, that changes this starting entirely. The fact that you can get reinforcements from just about anywhere within the catapult range.
What is the catapult range?
But they can't come back through
one-way trip.
the catapult.
Yeah.
It's a one-way trip. Okay. All right.
But they
Okay,
can
so there
receive
is a little bit of a
reinforcements, which
balance
is
there.
Interesting.
But as long as you catapult yourself into a territory where you can take the a station that has either the ability to build more ships or repair your own.
Yeah, does it have a
man.
does it have a cooldown? Do we know that?
I don't know what the catapult cooldown is. Now,
Sorry, the Jeffapult. We've been
the
naming it
Jeffapult.
wrong.
There is an icon. There is a button on your fleet for catapulting them, but
Really?
it currently does not say that there is any cooldown. There is an accuracy problem that the further away you go.
Oh, they've just catapulted the Titan in.
Where did they catapult that in? Oh, it's into the same system.
Yeah, well, the one along, yeah.
I wonder if the system that they did catapult into, the Jasmac system, was their intended system.
And maybe they missed.
Maybe they missed. Now, the bonus from having the catapult fleet compared to the jump fleet is that the jumping of the fleet, they get a sublight speed and weapons damage penalty. But with the catapult, they don't. They have their entire strength once they arrive. Now again, it is
some downside.
It is a one-way trip, but if you had both, you can use your quantum catapult or your Jeffapult to get into the system and then use your jump drives to get out.
Or somebody's also noted if you jump into an enemy system with your catapult, you can, if it's got a gateway in it, you could then use the gateway to get back.
True. Imagine catapulting your Colossus into enemy territory. Not even. Imagine. Okay, so what about the Crisis games? You catapult your Death Star. Sorry, I don't know if I'm allowed to call it that. Your
other names are available.
if you're for lack of a better word, no, the Star Destroying.
Yep.
You blow up a system, and then you simply return it to your system. Your Star Destroy. There you go. You catapult it in. You destroy a system before they can even respond to it.
And then you retreat.
And then you retreat it.
I mean, it means you can't use it until it comes back to your home system.
That's true. That's true. But you have such hit and run tactics that you can utilize that it becomes, how do you even fight against that? Let's check on the Transport Guild's war right now.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. It's one-sided.
They have most of the Numerian Principality completely taken over. The Numerian Principality didn't really have any way of stopping them. Considered pathetic by comparison, their fleets have been destroyed.
What's their war?
All that is left is just for them to take.
They want to subjugate them.
The rest of their planets.
Yeah, they want to take them as a tributary. That's their war goal. So, do you reckon that they can manage that this war? I mean, they've only got 51% war exhaustion at the moment. Do you reckon they could do that in one war? That would be impressive.
Taking the entirety of them?
Yeah, as a subject.
I mean, with the catapult, the fact that the Jeffapult being able to immediately launch themselves into conflict, I think that it's definitely possible.
It's sped up. Ooh, psionic abilities.
Interesting. from the Eternals. Okay, the Eternals are now becoming psionic, which makes sense. I assume that they would.
Does that make them psionic zombies?
Ah, that's weird. Well, wait, maybe the zombies aren't psionic, but the living ones are. What would an undead say through psionic telepathy? Would they even say anything? Right? Nah, I'd probably just say Jeff. It'd probably just say Jeff over and over again. That'd be annoying to listen to through your head.
Zombies in your sight.
Oh my word.
That would be interesting for sure.
Oh man.
That is definitely a scary thought.
I absolutely think that they're going to be able to get the Numerian Principality in one war because they are only at 27% of their war exhaustion.
That's what I'm saying.
And they already have a significant amount of their war goal. Now there are a couple of systems here that they skipped, but they only have one. They only have one transport fleet. That has a lot of work to do.
True, but there's only like what 7 or 8 systems they don't have total. Right?
Thereabout. Let's see here. They have. Well, it's not just that there's the systems that they don't have. There's still systems that they quote own, but they don't have the planet that's inside of it. So in order for you to take a planet or take a system from
there's
chat,
about 15.
You have to take not only the star base, but any sort of habitat or planet that is currently inhabited in that system as well. So since
that gives
this
it
system,
like the X kind of green thing that shows you that it's fully taken.
Court Lepi here currently is still owned by the natural owner, the Numerian Principality. This system does not count towards the war goal yet, or towards their war score. They must take both the station and the system or the planet inside in its entirety in order for them to actually have it count.
I'm thinking, I've done a quick count up. I think there's 4 systems that they haven't completely taken yet. And then there's about 15 or just a bit less than 15 systems that they haven't started taking.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Did I count these? 13, 14, 15. I count like 15.
I was just looking at I was saying there's 5 where they've taken like a starbase but not the planet yet, and then there's about 15, between 10 and 15 systems they haven't got yet.
We have 2 AI currently that are at war with each other: the Undying and the Hammer and the Anvil. Which I love that, by the way. I love the name. It's I don't know. I'm kind of a sucker for those kinds of titles. But the Hammer is currently invading the Undying. Now, the Undying being I wonder, are they necrophage? I think they are.
It would make sense based on the name.
Yes. The Undying taking over the Hammer and Anvil. I don't know. Ooh, it looks like the Hammer and the Anvil are going to die. They have very little room to grow, and they're going to get taken over. What kind of war is this? I can't actually see.
Hang on, let me tell you, because for some reason I can see them. So the Undying is a vassalization war.
Ah, okay. Just a vassalization war. All right.
There's also another AI war going on in the other section of the galaxy. The Messengers of the Cathedral.
Yeah.
They are against. Well, it's actually the Bacata Watchers because they are a scion. The Favarian Throng. That is a humiliate war, so that's
hold on.
Probably not as important.
What? Okay. So if we look at the Favarian Throng, look at their modifier they have. This is a new one I've not seen before. Hopeless war. We are being attacked by a fallen empire, an ancient precursor civilization that we can scarcely hope to defeat. It would be advisable to cut our losses and surrender.
Oh my goodness.
That's new. I've not seen that before.
That's interesting.
Is that because
it's
they
a
are
noughts
currently
and crosses icon?
They're currently being attacked by the scion, the scion of a fallen empire, I believe.
Well, it's the fallen empire and it's scion, right?
Well, I don't. Well, actually, That's true. If it's a humiliation war, then that means that it's
Yeah.
the Fallen Empire that's getting involved with its
Yeah.
200,000 fleet power,
Just a few.
disintegrating. It's like a magic trick. Your station was here, and now it's not.
What
Behold.
station?
What station? It was never there to begin with. Look at these resources that the Fallen Empire has. That's incredible.
Goodness me.
Bombarding and invading. This
Yeah,
poor little empire.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they haven't given in.
I mean, they're gonna have to soon, right?
I would have thought that the AI would have just given up the moment they lost their first planet, but apparently they haven't. Now, is this because that they expanded next to the Fallen Empire? Where
I
is this
imagine
Fallen
it's
Empire?
because they took one of their. Oh, they've lost Beta Corvi.
I'm trying to find the Fallen Empire right now.
Is there a world in here? Yeah, that's a tropical world. I'm
Let's see
wondering
here.
if there was like if they messed with a Gaia world or you know that
They're
system
in the
where
northern portion, but they have. Oh, that's why. Okay, so the Fallen Empire is actually in the northern part of the galaxy, but they
Right.
have a wormhole directly into the homeworld of their scion.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
Interesting. Okay, but why were they considered? Why are they doing a humiliation war against them?
They didn't like him.
I don't know. It looks like they pieced out of the war. They are
Yep.
humiliated for 10 years, which to
Yep.
be fair is a better outcome than simply losing.
They did seemingly lose that that system, Beta Corvi. I don't know if they originally had it, but they had the two there originally, the Favarian Throng, and now they don't.
I spy with my little eye
What do we
a
say?
ruined matter decompressor
Ooh.
inside
Pathaban Vortex.
of the Favarian Throng.
Interesting.
That is real close
That's
to the free
really close to
Scientology
Gene
of
3.
Yang.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have they changed their name? They have.
They did.
Are they no
They did
longer a
change their
vassal?
name.
They're no longer a vassal.
Wait, what? They actually freed themselves?
Yeah, they're independent.
Oh, that's because the Empire fell. The Empire doesn't exist anymore. The Holy
We missed
the Holy
this.
Krillin Empire is only a single state now. What is this? Lords of War. This is a new
Oh, have you
Ascension
not
perk.
seen that one? Yeah, I saw
have
that
not.
one just a second ago. Yeah.
Some say war is bad for business, but war is our business. Our mercenaries thrive in an embattled galaxy, and through them, so will we. Mercenary Enclave capacity +1. Diplomatic weight from fleet power +25%. That sounds great to me. Mercenary Enclaves under our patronage pay more frequent dividends. Interesting. Okay.
Very interesting.
Let's see what else we have access to.
Everything.
That is interesting. Okay. They're also taking the unyielding tradition,
Yeah, I saw
which
that
is
as well.
going to be very useful against other AI.
Yeah, I've heard from somebody that Stefan is buying Montu's pops, genetically modifying them, and then selling them back for higher prices.
Oh my
Supposedly.
goodness! Look how much these cost.
Yep.
That's. Wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't know that you could do that. I mean, I knew that you could buy them and
the
then you
cooler
could modify.
Crexox Mutalis.
I guess it's not that I didn't know you could do that. I just never thought to do that.
I like the name.
It's good business. Buying population for cheap, modifying them, and then selling them. I wonder if it's the AI that's buying them then.
Well, maybe.
For
But I do like the
exorbitant amount of
naming
money.
convention. The naming convention for them is great.
Yeah, what is this? The cooler? The cooler
Yeah.
version? Oh,
Yeah.
man. Okay, that's pretty funny. Wow, okay. Man, there's no
That
way
looks
I'd buy
good.
those. Normally, as a hive mind, by the time I get my genetic ascension, I will try to buy all of the populations off the slave market so then I can have more population. Because like I said before, population is power. The more
Mhm.
population you have, the more powerful your empire is, as long as you
Yeah.
can support them. But this is extortion. Look at
That's
these
taking
prices.
it to the max. Although it could be because it's maybe doubled because you're not allowed slaves from the empire that we're looking at it from.
That is true. That is true. If the Empire that, you know what, actually, let me change over. Let's go to the barbaric spoilers and then check out to see what it shows. It still shows as a very extortionate rate.
Yes,
But it's not as much. It's not as much.
They
Except
are,
for the
in
donut.
fact, a donut
Wait a minute.
themselves, which looks
Is that why
like
they're
one.
called a donut? Is because look, they have the center of their territory
Yeah.
not gained. They literally
that's-
look like a donut.
Yeah, that's what I gathered like 2 hours ago.
I just put 2 and 2 together. Is that they're called a donut and they're actually in a donut shape?
Yeah.
Is that maybe that's their secret goal? Is that they have to have a donut shape?
I mean, it could be. They have to become and continue being in the shape of a donut.
Who do I think will win between the teams? Right now, it would likely be a current tie between the tech rush of Rambling Donut and the Transport Guild. The problem is that they are very close to each other, and probably starting by tomorrow. By the way, hey, Candice, by the time we start tomorrow, I don't know if they will survive. Like, there's going to be some headbutting. There has to be. But soon they're going to be butting up with their borders, and one of them has to be the Overlord, and one of them has to be the underling.
Because at the moment, if we look at this, the Transport Guild is above them in power levels. However, all Rambling Donut have to do is build a fleet. And because they are so close to them with literally no fleet power.
That is true. However, right now the tech difference between Team 6 and the Donut, granted, the Donut has far more science income. The actual science score is not terribly far behind. So the Donut does have a tech lead, but they don't really have the income to even support out militarizing the Transport Guild. They have less alloy
it would
income.
cripple them if they built a fleet.
I think that it would definitely cause them a huge hindrance. I don't think that they can outproduce the Transport Guild, even though they have a tech lead right now, which may be much more significant by tomorrow. I don't think that they have. First of all, I don't think that they could even produce a fleet fast enough before the Transport Guild can literally catapult into their territory and crush them before they have a chance. So they would have to preemptively build up.
They've got Executive Vigor and Engineered Evolution so far, and they've got another Ascension perk that they're able to take just now.
I'll also point out that right now the Empire size, the Empire Sprawl penalty for the Transport Guild is starting to get a little ridiculous. They're up to 400, which means that their tech cost is 27% more, and their adoption cost is 55% more. They're not producing as much unity.
They're also still in that
Rambler.
war. I would have thought they'd have finished that war by now.
So the Rambler Empire size is smaller, and their unity is higher. So not only is Rambler having a tech lead, but they're also going to have a tradition lead, which means that they're going to have more Ascension perks. They are going for the Engineered Evolution, which might indicate that their plan as a hive mind is to actually absorb other empires and integrate them into their society, because choosing the genetic ascension perk will allow them to do that as a hive mind.
What do you think they'll take the third one then?
As their third? Well,
yeah.
It depends on what their technology is. Right now, as their third one, they could possibly take or at least they would likely want to, and that's why they haven't, is the evolutionary mastery. But the problem is that they need the glandular acclimation technology, which I'm kind of surprised they haven't had yet.
So do you think they're waiting on that tech?
They're probably waiting on that tech. And if they do, if that is what they're waiting for, then likely they are going to declare war on a neighbor and absorb their people into
declare on the Forsaken.
Not anytime soon.
I mean,
the Forsaken is considered overwhelming. When that happens,
when they've got their
happens. If my prediction is correct, what we'll see is we will first see them choose the Ascension perk, then we'll see them militarize. If they militarize, then that is most likely what they're doing.
Yeah. So keep an eye on their fleet power number.
They are banking that nobody is going to bother them until they probably get to that point, and then they're going to
they've been right
just
so far.
launch right
Wait,
into.
they have a vassal?
They do have a minor vassal. I believe that was a
Ramblin' Junior #1.
I believe actually no, that wasn't. Did they release it
Interesting.
as a vassal?
Perhaps.
They
Also,
could
I've
have
just
released it.
noticed that the Transport Guild has a tiny system just towards them, right above the Bakata Watchers, the Fallen Empire, which is interesting.
That is that's going to be a little cheeky, because if
What?
they have
Oh, it's a Gaia world. They've taken the system because it's got a Gaia world.
Wait a minute, hold on. They took a Gaia world?
No,
Are
they've
the
taken
Watchers
a system
okay with
with
this?
a Gaia world in it.
Hold on. Fanatic Spiritualist. Oh, okay, so they haven't actually taken it yet, probably
Yes.
because it's not indicated as a holy world?
Doesn't appear to be. It just says Gaia world.
Interesting. Okay.
But they have kind of claimed it by claiming the system.
There are 3 Gaia worlds in total. There's the one that they took, and then
Yeah.
there's one to the left and one to the right.
Pristine Jewel.
The other ones are
Yeah.
indeed holy worlds, but the one that they took is a randomly generated one that wasn't associated with the Fallen Empire,
How did it
and they
just happen
can
to
take it
generate
without
in
causing a
there?
problem.
That's,
They could take it.
That's impressive that they noticed it. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, it's not a holy world, so they can't take that. And at the same time, which they just took the next system, the Tiamat
Yep.
system,
Yep.
now they have a very close border
Yes.
to their potential
that was what
vassal,
I was
the
picking up
the
on.
donut.
Yeah, that they are very, very close.